Welcome to the No Ideas Original Podcast featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, and Ken. What's up, y'all? How you doing?
We good, bro. How you holding up?
I'm good. I'm good. That's right. Rob got the shirt on. If you haven't already listened to a stream, make sure you stream the Curation Volume 1, our first project. No Ideas Original presents the Curation Volume 1, available on all platforms. Yo, Rob, so I just heard you talking. You went down to the Bronx and got terrorized by the scooters?
Oh, the schools is like it's lawless. It's like little China or something. They just running. Everybody ain't doing DoorDash. Fuck out of here. Not going for it. Not everyone's doing DoorDash. There's a lot of running around. There's a lot of hustling going on. These are the new 10-speed bikes, and everyone got one, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I was in Egypt, and it seemed like, yo, I don't even know how they function because it's like, you don't even really see, like, yeah, like them joints out there, but it's not like it's lights on every corner and everything. It's like a perpetual traffic jam, and dudes just weaving in and out with family members on it and everything.
Oh, yo, wow. On our way to the concert that Friday, on our way there, almost once we passed Fordham Road, almost on every corner, it was like an incident with a car and a scooter.
Yeah.
Because they turning off, they riding the sidewalk, off the sidewalk, and then they on the sidewalk. It's crazy, bro.
All them joints ain't legal though, right? Like some of them is illegal, right?
Ain't no way in the world it's just legal.
Some of them I've seen with plates on them. I've seen some of them.
Some of them legal.
Some of them, but this is the Bronx. You know, a third of them shits is the Bandulu joints.
I guess they figure they get less pressure because remember when people's out there on the dirt bikes and stuff, so they figure they're not picking people up on scooters.
Or the other thing is that now, I mean, the other thing is if you look, you see like what's the little scooters that people ride around that you put your card in. Yeah, them joints. So I guess they figured they ain't on it like that. But the horrific joint was the dude who ended up killing his son on them scooters. I don't know if y'all seen that story, but he was trying to take his son somewhere. He put the helmet on his son. The helmet wasn't like the right size, and he got in an accident and ended up getting in an accident. His son died. And he got locked up and everything. He got locked up for it, and I think they may have hit him with manslaughter or something. The kid's mom family was saying that they believe that he should have got hit with murder or whatever it was. And the DA was like, "Yo, he lost his son's life." Like,
for those who's out there riding them scooters, be easy. I won't give scooters a bad name. Shout out to my man Big 8. Who've been doing our videos. He pulled up on the scooter to shoot a video, so God bless him.
I seen his. His is official though.
He pulled up with the light on the backpack and was ready to shoot with the camera. So scooters are good for some things. Yo.
Facts. Yo, so without further ado, let's get into it. This particular artist that we have coming to the platform, it's interesting, and it was dope, like doing the research for our interviews. And in case y'all don't know, yes, we do research for our interviews, so we just not asking people standard cookie cutter questions, and doing that research, I had the opportunity to really delve deep into like his catalog, find out more about him, and this is a talented brother, and this is a talented brother that I'm curious to know if he feels like the pressure that he has inherited from being from Shaolin and the greatness that has come out of Shaolin. So without further ado, we want to bring to the platform Mr. Squeegie Oblong, Shaolin's, the new Shaolin, right? The new Shaolin. What up, bro? How you doing? Peace.
I can't complain, man. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Everybody good. So
you look good. You look good too, bro.
Thank you. All y'all brothers look like y'all healthy and wealthy, so I ain't complaining at all.
We ain't good company then.
So let me ask you straight out the gate: how'd you come up with the name Squeegie Oblong? And does it have like some
build on that, bro?
It's like a two-parter. So originally, the name was given to me from one of my mom's friends, her brother. He used to call me Squeegie Man as a young dude. I would say about like 10, 11 years old. I went to high school with his nieces and shit, and they would call me Squeegie in high school. So it kind of caught on with a couple of people, and that's when I was like really trying to get my shit off. So I originally went by squeegiosis, like like a disease you can't.
Right.
And, I want to say about like 2007, I adopted and just changed it to Squeegie Oblong because there was this cartoon called The Oblongs.
I remember them.
Yeah. Family all fucked up. So I kind of felt like I fit the vibe. I wasn't on shit. I mean, I was outside, but the outside world really wasn't my thing. And then after a while with your pen, you gotta do something with your shit. So
Right.
I just wanted to always stand out with my pen, man.
And there you go.
Damn, you said the oblongs. I thought I was the only person who watched that.
Oh nah, man. I was on the Adult Swim and all that shit heavy. Cried, always watching television.
Yo, wasn't something crazy like the mom had one breast or something? Or something?
The mom had one breast. They had the conjoined twin sons.
The pops ain't have no
Pops
no
ain't had
legs.
no legs.
Yeah,
She had looked like a fucking dildo hanging out of her head. And my man, like he wasn't there fully, but he understood what the fuck was going on. You know? So,
Wow.
yeah.
Here it is. I'm thinking oblong. I'm like, what type of shape is this guy talking about? Like, I'm thinking shape. So y'all thinking cartoons. I was totally far out with the name. Now that's dope though. It's dope that you kind of broke that down like that though, bro.
Nah, of course, man. You know, everybody got to get an understanding. You know, when I've been going through this for years. As soon as they hear, not even the first part, squeegee, it's automatic. This nigga, he on some other shit. And when the mouth opens,
right?
Oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
don't ever judge a book by the cover, man. You know?
That's when you hit him with the dark winged duck. Your bar skeeve stuck, son.
Yo, you heard, word. Dark winged duck, your bar skeeve stuck.
Get your hand right, bro. Get your hands right. That's right. Yeah, see?
For real shit.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Rob.
Yo, so who are your two biggest influences and why?
I mean, if I'm gonna be 100.
100 could be your pops, your grandmother, your teacher,
anybody.
I mean, anybody. Well, I go with a family influence and I go with a famous influence. So my pops is my influence because he's ill with his hands. Like God bless the dead, but he was ill with his hands as far as drawing. Like if you pay attention, if y'all, you say you do the homework. So the new project he did all the
right?
Yeah.
Oh, he did that?
And like he was drawing his. So the fact that he had the artistic hand,
right?
He just never, pursued with it. He had his own vices and shit, that held him back from doing certain things. But he always pushed me to like, yo, if you really want to do something, make sure you do that shit and do it 100%. So, with his inspiration and the fact that he could draw, but he couldn't translate the shit that he would talk wild, but he couldn't translate that shit in the rhyme. So I just kind of took the wild shit talk that he talked and just incorporated in rhyme and stuff, And I would say Eminem. I ain't gonna shit on the brother. Early M, when I first started really pushing my pen, I want to say like 14, 15, I was heavy on the Slim Shady LP.
Yeah.
I was heavy on the Slim Shady EP. Like, to me, that nigga was the bee's knees at that time.
What drew you to him like that? What was it about him that drew you to him?
I mean, honestly, it was the character, the way that he wasn't like everybody else. At that time,
right.
The 90s, late 90s, everybody was coming out the shiny shoe shit. Everybody was starting to get on the like thug shit. Like, he was just, yo, I'm here. Know what I mean? And the way he incorporated his videos, like Busta Rhymes and Missy, they always get it top notch with me as far as visual end. But the fact that he wasn't scared to be white trailer park trash, I want to do what I want to do. And the bar game, listening to the freestyles, hand me an eighth, beat me up and land me in space. I'm gonna sit on top of the world and shit on Brandy and Mace. Like, yo, that shit, yo, to a young mind, you're like, holy shit, oh wow. So
yo, man. But not to cut you off, but something, like whenever we in the hood and we have a discussion and we start mentioning like who the top 5 lyricists, people be like Eminem, like they shy away from him. I've actually been in conversation with people where people front on him, and I'll be like, yo, come on, the man white, but let's not front like he
I think it's more so for the fact of later on in his catalog, and then not for nothing, as a fan, there's just certain shit that after years it does kind of get like stale. It don't really have that connection no more.
Right.
But to deny the man of his word skill, especially if you really followed his career, like yo, he been fucking nice forever. Now I mean, he's definitely in my 10.
I never listened to him. Like, you know what I think it is? I think people in terms of like replay value, I think people are like, yo, you know, I ain't listening to his shit in the club. I ain't really getting in the car too often, throwing it on or whatever. But in the moments where you sit by yourself and you just want to hear like bars, like, come on, like,
Yeah, you want to hear somebody
like
thinking when they write.
Hell yeah.
You know what it is? They don't push that stuff. They always pushing them anthem songs, and people don't really want to hear that. Like, I'm not afraid and all that type of stuff. No.
Yeah, I ain't really care for
That's when
those.
his catalog really started getting set.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody want to hear that.
I mean,
Yo, and I'm glad we on this topic because I want to just piggyback and just add on to this next question I have, because I always talk about the power of words and the power of imagination. Let me ask you, Squeeze, the power of words and imagination as an artist yourself, how important is it that we use these tools for a better purpose?
very important, because you got to understand the people behind you that's paying attention. You know what I'm saying? We tend to get in this ideal of, yo, I'm making music for me. You know what I'm saying? And it is true. Sometimes you get in that vibe and you making shit for you. But I mean, besides the fact that you have a older audience or audience in your age, you know, there's young dudes that are curious. You know what I'm saying? They catching on. So the value of what you say, word real. You know, look at how, like, you know, the drill shit is connecting with these kids, and they on that type of time without shadow of a doubt. You know, and I even put in the same comparison, like we were just having the whole conversation about the Eminem shit. Even then, that influence on it was, yo, it's a whole different ball game with words. So when you present your shit and you come in, you gotta come correct. I mean, not to say you gotta be on some Will Smith shit.
Right.
Be conscious, you know. There was a lot of shit that I used to say early on back when I was writing, and I listen to that shit now, be like, yeah, it was cute, but you know, it could have went further. I could have went further with that topic, or I could have put some more
expanded it.
in that shit, expanded it, you know.
Right,
and, you
know,
right. All that shit is important.
Right, and I bring that up because I heard someone say, "Yo, young man said, yo, they're possessing us." He said he was in the club, and if you stop bopping your head and listen to the words, yo, we in here tranced, listening to the same words repeatedly to a beat. Murder, kill. I'm gonna kill a nigga when I get out of here, slide and all this other shit. All these
words. Word, sorry, not to cut you off. If it ain't that, it's yo, spend your money, let's get drunk, shake your ass,
your booty hole brown,
booty hole down, I'm out of town.
Fucking crazy out here, bro.
Nah, I can't.
And that's why I asked, because there, as an artist, I do believe as an artist there should be some sort of responsibility on what you say, because of the influence and people are listening, and words carry vibrations and sounds. They pick up, man. People can pick up on things and just go with it and not know why they're going with it because it's so trendy. They follow the suit. You know what I mean?
Now, and then it's even worse if you misleading the people. You kicking that shit and you're not really standing behind what you're saying. That's even worse. That's the worst kind of artist you can be. You know?
Unbelievable.
Exactly.
Hey, man. So I got a question for you, man. When we doing a research looking up, man, you got a lot of video footage, man. a lot of video footage.
Yo, I try to stay viral in this new day and age.
Yeah, like usually you have people that have a lot of music and stuff. You got a lot of music, but you don't see that many videos, man.
Right.
And I'm watching them like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, man, a Cabrina video, stuff is fire, man. I like the music. Tell me how it came about, like doing all that, getting all of that content. And it looks like, man, you run with like a lot of spitters out there. That's the Staten Island crew, man. Let me know what's going on with that.
Shit, I mean, yo, I rhyme with everybody. I mean, there's people here that I don't look at what they say. Niggas put me up there in the conversation when it comes to Staten Island as far as new generation. That's cool. That's peace. You know, I fucks with a lot of different people off and on the island. You know, I've been grateful to be featured on a lot of different songs with vast different variety of people.
Yeah.
From out here all the way to California,
nice.
And all that shit. So that's the blessing and the lesson with all that shit, man. And yo, Cabrina's funny because the song in itself, before the visual even came apart, I linked up with this kid from the Netherlands named T Solo. Shout out to him.
How about that?
And he happened to be out here catching the show, and dude was like, yo, I gotta fuck with you, yo, we gotta make some records. I'm like, yeah, but I'm one of those, yo, you tell me that shit, I usually throw it like fluff in the jar, you know what I'm saying? Until there's action behind it. Yeah, we can do that shit.
Right.
And I want to say a couple of months after that, son hit me up, and I was like in a real weird place in life, you know, just personally. And that's one of the 3 that came across my desk when he first started sending me shit, and I chefed it. I wanted the visual to be on some shit like, yo, kind of like Doctor Strange, cage type wild shit. My cousin, you know, he always on some Create the Frenzy shit. So yeah, found an abandoned building. I mean, picked up some props and just was like, yo, fuck it, let's have some fun, man, and just wild the fuck out.
See, that's dope. You know what I mean? You can just put that shit together like that and just
Oh.
grab your own props, grab anything. Let's make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yo, creativity is key in this sport. In order for people to want to gravitate and fuck with you, they gotta really gravitate and fuck with you. If you don't show yourself and, you know, be yourself out in this shit, you're just another nigga rapping words.
That's right.
Word.
That's right.
Yo, how has the history of hip hop in Staten Island impacted you as an artist? Because, you know, everybody always go to Wu-Tang, but even before Wu-Tang, you think about like the UMCs. Like, it just seemed like Staten Island is known for bringing forth like creative artists. So, you know, how has that impacted you?
Honestly, I love the fact that I came from Staten Island. I've met so many different vast characters. I mean, and there's a lot of niggas that are unsung heroes of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
UMCs, fucking Cool Kim and fucking Phantom. Them niggas,
Phantom and Beats.
They always get underappreciated, but they're goats. You know what I'm saying? King Justice, fucking goat.
That's a fact.
I mean, fucking Black Fist, the Shaolin Soldiers, Fest Taylor, the fucking Ruthless Bastards, all niggas is goats. You feel what I'm saying? They deserve their props and their flowers for that shit. Now, I mean, even all the way down to fucking Killer Army, them niggas deserve their props the same way.
I like Killer Army.
Shit. We could even go in the cipher and go deeper in the currents because there's artists from Staten Island that was out that will never get a chance. There was a nigga named Animas that was killing it like 98, 99, flowing through this bitch. And he was heavy on his promo. Niggas like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? You go in the Pathmark, you go buy his little tape for like $5. He had like 6 songs on it, was banger. But yo, everybody who came out this shit that spit, I think timing wise was more of an issue because a lot of these guys have social media, none of that shit. They had to rely on, I gotta go in these offices and play with people. And at that time, you know how it was. If y'all niggas was to sound like Wu-Tang, we don't want to hear none of that shit.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I always felt like though, like during that era, that Queensbridge and Staten Island was like just like the farm system for hip hop. You know, like it felt like there was a time where if you rapped and you was in the bridge, they was just like, you from the bridge, we signing you. Or you from Staten Island, we signing you.
Right.
You
know? Because you gotta look at what was. I mean, not to shit on none of the other boroughs, but shit, you had Nas, you had Mobb Deep, you had Capone Noriega, you had Tragedy Gaddafi, you had Akinelli. Boom, on the Staten Island end, like you said, you had the UMCs, you had Wu-Tang, you had fucking Killer Army. Shit, who else I could think of? Oh, my man HDM, Hype the Man. He was running around for a little bit, getting played Hot 97, all that other shit. So, they want that shit because that's that sound. They see that sound is popular. So yeah, I'm gonna gravitate to that. Wasn't nobody denying the Mobb Deep record back at that time. No. And if Nas put out a shitty record, that shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? Just for the fact of it's Nas. There wasn't nobody. No, come on.
Yeah.
So.
And Nas held it down. I mean, when you listen to what Nas started, and then it followed up with Mob, and it's like, oh shit. And then Gaddafi. It was like, Gaddafi was intelligent hoodlum before Nas.
Yeah.
There's a little melting pot going on in there because when I first think of QB, I think Shan, of course. I'm old school back there, and I still love it hearing the bridge coming. I'm from the Bronx, and I still love hearing the bridge. Yeah. When it comes on loudspeaker, it's like, oh shit, I'm back in '83. I feel like I'm in a jam, son. I hear them drums coming off the fucking handball court. Like, that
was the jam music.
That was the jam music. Yeah. And Staten Island had that same mystique. I mean, all 5 boroughs have them. There's always been an artist that kind of just catapulted and just wore the cape for a minute. And I like it, and I always admired that. And I say to myself, that's a great thing. But let me ask you this. What's your thought on popularity versus artistry? And what's that doing in hip hop in today, in your opinion?
Well, in the level of clout era, of what I call it, sucker age. You know what I mean?
Right.
In this day,
yeah, all that.
Word, you know, fucking all this shit now. Fuck the artistry. Nobody got no artistry, man. Show me somebody. I'm not, you know, trying to be disrespectful.
Nah.
Show me anybody in any genre as far as underground, mainstream, whatever subgenres they want to break it in. At this moment in time, what stands out more? Their music or their social media presence? I know more about Blueface's life more than I know about that nigga music. I mean, I love West Side Gun to death, but this nigga's on Twitter and fucking
everywhere.
Hey, and then, and the music, he's one situation where he'll talk his shit, and he make magic.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, popularity wins. And my personal morale is always about artistry. Because you can be a popular cornball. You know what I'm saying? You hot because, you know, you standing next to somebody, or you made a little movement, or you had a little, you know, wave. That don't mean that, you know, you skilled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What have you said that made somebody go, wow, I can fuck with that? What have you done outside the box of what you used to do that'll make a nigga go, wow, I can fuck with him for that?
I think the trappings though, like what happens is that even when you have people who come into the game and it's rooted in artistry, I think like the trappings and the glitz and the glamour kind of pull them into the mainstream and make them become popular. And then I think that's when people begin to compromise the artistry, you know, on the strength for like, yo, I am popular, I gotta make something quick, dumb down. Like to me, we live in a microwave music society where people, you know, they consume an album in a week and be like, all right, when the next project coming. But I'm from that era where dudes, I remember Big Daddy Kane drop an album, you gotta wait 3 or 4 years to get the next joint, you know, and you actually waiting and he's cultivating and putting it together. Now it's like, all right, you put your album out, next month I need a new one, you know. So
no, because you gotta look at it like this: you drop an album and then fucking you got a week, but then you got another 25, 24 days to just show your personality. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of it kind of sucks in a sense because it takes away from the skill, you know.
Right.
But I'm from the era of linear notes and credits. I used to read the credits.
We too. That's what I mean, bro.
I appreciate shit like that, but I like waiting time to hear album. You know, I don't mind waiting a year, 2 years. No more than 4, but I could wait to hear some shit as long as I know it's gonna be worth it. You know, a lot of people put out a lot of shit in a short span of time and it be fire, but with some real substance to it. It's kind of like you just throwing shit out just to keep relevancy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What's interesting about that is so what we basically said is funny is that we like the new stuff, but we also like the idea of what an old record label used to represent.
Right.
So, you can say that.
The A&R, the proper promotion, the visual, you know, actually making a promo run, getting behind your record.
Yeah. Vetting the acts so everybody can just be artists.
Right. But
all you need is a cell now to make an album, a cell phone.
All you need is a cell phone, a couple of dollars to buy one of these bots to get your followers up, and just one brother that don't care, he just want to make money. I mean, that's it.
Do we pivot from this trendy shit though? How do we pivot from this trendy shit?
That's a good question.
Just keep supporting real shit. That's it. If you keep supporting real shit, eventually the real's gonna show you gonna only fake the funk for so long.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of real shit, I listen to Tanface. I'm like, damn, this brother's like I get the sense from him that he's a purist. You know, and when you start talking about like people that's hip hop purists, the thing that always comes up is you ever hear the terminology when people be like, yo, this dude is a rapper's rapper. You ever hear when people say that?
I've heard that.
So what separates a rapper from a rapper's rapper? And who's the rapper's rapper to you?
That's a good question, Sha. I like that question.
I like that. That was smooth. All right, so to answer the first part of the question, the difference between a rapper and a rapper's rapper is just simple like this. A rapper is a nigga who can just make something sound hot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can get on the beat You could maybe style it. It could be lyrical, miracle, word salad, whatever style you fit it to.
Right.
You just saying whatever and it worked for you. Now, being a rapper is when you take people on different journeys. You know what I'm saying? When you make people understand not just you as an individual, but the mindset and the imagination of what you got inside your head.
Right.
You know, a lot of niggas can't get back past the sitting outside on the stoop method. Now, I mean,
say that again. Say that one more time, Lord.
A lot of niggas can't get past sitting outside of the stoop method. You feel what I'm saying? But it's a catch-22 because then a lot of these niggas haven't been exposed to nothing else but that.
That's facts right there.
Exactly. Yeah. But once you open up your brain and expand your mind to see whatever the fuck you want to see, your topics change. You know what I'm saying? Everything changes.
Topic change, the language change, how you see things change. Yeah.
For real. You know, your third eyes really, it opens up in a whole fashion.
All right. So let me throw this one into the mix, into the equation, right? I know artists that I've seen go from a rapper's rapper to a rapper. What can you tell me an artist that you've seen go from a rapper to this nigga's a rapper's rapper now?
The other way. Ooh.
You wanted to go the first way or the other way?
Yeah.
We see people. We seen slippage. We seen slippage. We seen dudes regress.
Yeah, we can see that.
Regardless of how anybody feels about this new age generation of rappers, there's a couple of niggas that the rapper's rapper that turned rapper. I'll give J. Cole that prime example. Okay. I mean, when J. Cole first came out, when he came out with the based on the true story, the fucking the mixtape, he was out there kicking shit. Once he got a chance to dumb down his sound and he found his glitch in the matrix, I mean, everybody get on the record with now. Of course, he's gonna be better than niggas because look who he's rapping with.
Yeah,
I mean, of course you're gonna be better than Young Thug.
Dirk, better than Dirk.
Dirk. You know what I'm saying? You won't get in the ring with a Kendrick Lamar nigga on the record. Know what I mean? Now that's a nigga that I can say turned from rapper to rapper's rapper.
Rapper's rapper.
Know what I mean? And he was always a rapper's rapper, but when he first came out with his industry shit, he just did the rapper shit.
Hold on. Who we saying?
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar went from a rapper to a rapper's rapper?
Yeah.
I guess with like Drake.
Only because I say it like this, right? If you're not familiar with Kendrick Lamar, like Section 80 and all his earlier shit, the first you're ever introduced to is Good Kid, Mad City. A majority of that album is singles. You got Poetic Justice, Drink Shit.
Was it Shireen or
Master Splinter Shireen shit, whatever the fuck he had going on with that album. And that's a good album, but he did a lot of pop feel with that. Once that nigga dropped the Pimp a Butterfly, you seen the vibe change. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't like that album.
I like that album.
Yeah.
I love that album. There's a lot of people can't digest the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but he may be like one of the few people that I can say that probably went from a rapper to a rapper's rapper. But I remember like early Kendrick seeing something in him and knowing that this dude is a
got the potential, right?
Yeah, I'm like, this dude is a lyric. I'm talking about somebody that was just like very basic that you like, you can make a song, but then the next thing you know, they leave Earth on their next album. You're like, yo, where's this coming from? Who's writing this?
Oh, I can't even front. If you didn't attract me as a rapper,
you can't.
You wasn't a rapper's rapper.
But then, yo, we have like we all know like when you start mentioning rappers, you know the names. There's like common names that people be like, yo, G-Rap, Black Thought. You know, like these are dudes, like even a dude like Raz Cash, you'd be like, yo, these is rappers. Like people know they get busy. But I was thinking about that today. I was like, yo, the other way around, like, you know, like who's somebody that we seen ascend from rap, then all of a sudden
I just thought of one. I don't know how y'all feel about Cameron.
Well,
he went from a rapper. That he went from a rapper to a rapper. I feel he regressed. No.
I think he went from a rapper's rapper to just a basic.
I agree with that.
Because I agree with his first two albums, Confession of Fire and what is that? Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment. That nigga was out there trying to go.
357?
Yeah.
Crazy. I first heard that, I was like, oh, this dude is. And then the joint on Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment, Where I'm From.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
But
with he had Dutch and Spade, right? He had the joint.
Yeah.
that shit too. Woo!
Killed it. Then next you know here
That
with the
right.
new bull, pooper, the scooper, the trooper, the Buddha. I'm like,
Got
no,
Rockefeller,
bro.
man. He got Rockefeller money. Then he went.
You start dancing.
Cash dance and shit. You know.
I still think he might have a chance to turn it around though. He might. Now you know what I noticed. I think like even when you mentioned with Kendrick, is that once you start getting your paper up and your money, you basically can get back to say whatever you want to say.
There you go.
So they dumb it down to try to get that money, and then when they get it, that's when you could go back to being who you are. Because now you got the people, and it'll make a difference.
Yeah.
You know who to me personally, I think like they've made good albums, but they under the radar. That I would say it's probably not a rapper, but he's somebody that I recognize. Like this is a dude that's skilled that don't get his just due. I've always felt Master Ace. I've always felt like
that's one of my favorite rappers, bro.
OC
yeah,
too.
That's the next dude I was gonna name, Master Ace, OC. Like these are dudes that if you really sit with their music and digest it and listen to like actually what they saying, like yo, you hear the wordplay, the subject matter, you know, it's like
cadence, everything, bro. Everything is in pocket and sequenced perfectly, and you enjoy listening to them. Master Ace is the reason why I spell my name Master. I lie to you not.
Master Ace,
keep it in stack. I like the way he spelled that.
But yo, that's something though for all of us to think about. Like, how many people do we see transcend and go from being a rapper to a rapper's rapper? Like, because you don't see that often. You mostly see slippage where dudes, you know, they ain't shooting in the gym and the bars get trash, or they get a hot record and then they keep trying to replicate whatever that record is, and
chasing that fame, that glory, you know.
Yeah,
I got a question. I got an interesting question about that. Then, so we talked about rappers, right? When we look at the demographic, who's listening to rappers, and who's listening to rappers, and how do we get the people that's listening to rappers, or the people just listening to rappers to listen to the rappers? Because we kind of know what's going on with that demographic. So, what age group we think is listening to rappers, and who's listening to rappers?
Yo, funny
35 and over.
I mean, yeah, of course, you know, the 35 is always listening to the rapper. But yo, shockingly enough, right? It's just all depending on, once again, your popularity. Some of these young boys be paying attention, you know what I'm saying? And they trying to do the homework and figure out, because they see the progression of their music ain't really going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
They seeing that.
Yeah.
Yo, my nephew, I swear I learned from this dude every time. 13 years old. Dude blew my mind one day when he hit me with, yo, let's listen to some Eazy-E. What the fuck you know about Eazy-E?
13?
Bro, that ass. And he, faithfully, every time he gets in my fucking car, he makes sure he put on some type of Eazy-E. Whether it be Eazy does it, fucking what is it? The Cruising Down the Street and My 644. Whatever it is. So it's all dependent on your background. If you grow up with people that's 35 plus and you're in your preteen, teenage years, you probably learned something. Know what I mean? Anybody before that, they still got a lot of adjusting to do.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what the demographic is really? If you take age out, I would say the rappers audience is overseas.
Overseas and the vanilla flavor.
Yeah. Overseas, like overseas is more purists. It's more people that they actually the art. They appreciate the artistry. They, you know, they're historians. They want to listen. They want
vinyl. They want touch it. They want to be a piece of history.
Hip-hop. They want that real shit.
Yeah. You know, and right now I think we're in a generation where like pop culture is more important to a lot of your music has a real personal feel to it. As an artist, what allows you to be vulnerable enough to actually speak openly like that in your music?
I would say more so knowing the fact that two things. The best art comes from the darkest times. You know what I'm saying? You could create through your hardest shit. As long as you could put thought into it and put imagination into it, it works. Not only that, this shit is like a venting thing to me. You know what I'm saying? So the more I vent to my pen, the more I vent to the paper, the better off I feel about it. You know, I might not give it the full energy that it needs to, but maybe that little bit of a positive with writing is what I needed to get me out of the funk or the bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck, man. The only way you can respect somebody and understand somebody is that person is really them. Now, I mean, everything I say on wax, except for the shit that's really out there, I try to be 100% honest, you know what I'm saying, with my shit. Because, yo, ain't no faking the funk, ain't no future in fronting, you know what I'm saying? As I get older, like I said, I got little people behind me. I got my son, I got a photo on the way, I got my nieces and nephews. They trying to learn me, and then they see what I'm moving. So, you know, I don't like to do the extracurricular shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it got to be therapeutic too.
Oh, of course, all the time. You know, between the selection of the beats, yo, that's what really makes everything dope. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I get, as far as the vibe, production wise, that really what sets the tone, man.
Yeah. And how do you determine, like, you know, because I know primarily you work with Black Knight, but how do you determine, like, what kind of sound are you looking for?
Anything with life, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything with life. It could be a sample, it could be original, like orientated instrumentation. I'm not a guy that wants 70 BPMs and all my shit mad slow. I don't like no, bro. I've never bought to a slow joint ever in my life. It could be cool, but I'm not returning back to that when I play the record. So I always want my shit to have a certain type of level of tempo. Yeah. So I can still rock to it and be like, oh, I can understand it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's deep, fun, raunchy, you know.
Yeah. Yo, I seen somewhere else that you do like your own mixing and mastering. How'd you learn that skill?
2015, I was sitting in my cousin's crib. We had like a little bootleg studio we made out of his closet in his living room. These niggas forced me to learn fucking I would say Logic.
Okay.
Only for the fact that nobody knew how to mix and master, and I refused to go to any of these niggas out here. All due respect to my peers, but there was a reason why I stopped going to studios. You know, out here in Staten Island, a lot of shit goes down. You know,
I got you.
Especially with this younger generation, a lot of these dudes get on their knucklehead type of time. And at that moment in time, you know, there's a lot of shit going on. There was studios getting robbed. You know, motherfuckers just coming in doing whatever the fuck they want to. I avoided all that.
Right.
They sat me in front of the computer and said, "Here, let's do this." It took me about 4 years to learn Logic. I never watched a YouTube video until like recently, within the past couple of years, because they updated so much shit. But I always tried to sit in front of this computer day after day, trying to learn that shit. How to mix, how to tweak this, what sound right, what's this, how do you add this plug into that? You just learn off trial and error. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yo, and in the interview that I was watching, you said something, and I was like, I was driving home, and I was like, yo, this brother gets it.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
yes,
he
sir.
said,
Yes,
he said, yo, check it out, Rob. He was like, yo, you know, I had to learn mixing and mastering because he was like, yo, I got tired of fighting with these engineer dudes about, you know, what sounded right or how I wanted my stuff to sound, because they was trying to convince me to. And I'm like, yo, when we was recording our debut project, you know how many conversations I was having with like dudes that was like engineers and stuff, like, nah, man, that don't sound on beat. Nah, that got to be turned up. That got to be turned down. It's like
motherfuckers get cocky, man. Like, yo, boom, you get one motherfucker that get a lucky client one day. You get somebody of like a B level, A level. Oh, nah, I know everything. I had it when I first started recording my shit. I went to his studio. He was like, yo, where you recording at? I said, yeah, I got my own equipment. I'm recording my own shit. Nigga said, yeah, I'll see you in another month or two. Shout out to you though, brother. Love is always love, but I ain't thank you for that inspiration. Thank you for that.
Wow. But yeah, it is something about that, like, yo, the ability to mix and master your own joint, because when you created the record, you knew in your head how it's intended to sound, right? Like, this is how it's supposed to sound. But somebody will, people will debate you down about that, like, nah, yo, I think, and I'm be honest with you, like, as professionals, and I'm using that term loosely, you know, if people are professionals, they have they have, you know, I want their input, but also if I'm the customer, or the artist or whatever it is, like, yo,
I just do my shit.
the exact. I was trying to say it nice,
Just do my
but
shit.
yo, if I'm paying you to do it,
you charge me by the hour. You bragging about this is your job. This is what.
Yeah.
So just do the right thing. Don't beat me in my head. Give me a half-ass mix and then tell me, oh well, you gotta come back to get everything else. At least make my shit sound chunky. Now I mean, so I can enjoy it in the car ride. Don't give me no filtered air, flat out bullshit. Or yo, you taking your time. Like I'm literally watching you. You on your phone, texting, Facebook, and you just scrolling up and down the screen, chopping lines and shit. Like, yo, bro, I can do that at home. I'm on motherfucking line.
it'd be like, yo, hold on, I'm gonna mix your joint.
Yeah.
Button, automated, mix. There you go.
Shit, by now, they definitely got it like that. You just put that shit through a filter. It probably just AI generated. Boom, you got it.
choose hip hop in the
hip hop filter.
Yeah.
Number 43, treble number 5. You good?
But what made you use OG Mel, that recording of OG Mel for tanface? Where was you? What was going through that brain of yours, Lord, for that? And you just use that, like let that ride. I come on track 2. Let that ride.
I talk my shit when I talk my shit.
When I talk. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it was prevalent, you know, especially how I feel right now in this current stage of the underground shit. You know, there's a lot of niggas that's doing shit, and you know, it's amazing to what niggas doing.
Right.
And if I don't talk my shit and feel cocky about myself, ain't nobody else gonna feel cocky about it. Right. And the way that he convicted the energy and gave his shit, like, nigga, I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas is here because of me.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking damn body. If it wasn't for me and this nigga, y'all wouldn't be doing shit. So, in a sense, yo, not to say that, you know, I feel like I follow nigga styles or something like that, but it's a sport. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looks at this shit as a sport. I mean, I got people that I fuck with on record, you know, that we cool, you know, everything peace. But all in all, I didn't come in here to write so we could be fucking lamb chops play along, my nigga.
How about
I jumped on this mic because the niggas who before me was jumping on the mic to slaughter shit. And that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. I want to show you I'm the nicest fucking rapper around. I could dance around the ring like Floyd Mayweather and motherfucking Muhammad Ali. And I could punch you right in your eye like Sean Price, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just conviction in the bars, man. Fuck all out.
That's right.
I got respect for my elders, man.
How about that? That's peace, man. True Reality is one of my dopest joints, or your dopest joints that I like on there. And I like when you said teaching my son the different versions of man and telling them knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the key to the land.
If you believe in the plan, don't put faith
believe in the plan.
Teachers because people will let you down and fail you like teachers kill your dreams. You know what I mean? The realness behind that shit is when I thought about it, I thought about how I was raised. Like my father raised me as best as he could. But there's a lot of shit that I learned off the grid and off the radar that you're not really supposed to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Learning about fucking weed and seeds at like 6, 7 years old, you know, based off the fact that he smoked, so he's breaking his shit up on the table. And he wasn't like weary and scary of letting me know what was going on. Yo, you don't fuck with this. This is what this is. You know, proper education and knowledge. I want to properly educate my seed. But there's certain shit that I don't really want him to devour and get into because you don't gotta live like that. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. I mean, you got you got Sunshine, the record too. Like, was that the inspiration for that record?
Nah, actually, True Realities came way before Sunshine. I wrote True Realities in the process of him being born. You know what I'm saying? I was within the time of him arriving, and then Sunshine I wrote maybe about 8, 9 months after he got here. You know
How old is he now?
Shit, he just turned 2 Sunday.
Terrible twos.
Okay. Yo, domestic terrorism at its fucking finest,
You said you got another one on the way?
I got another one on the way.
Oh, man. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Yo, I want to go back for a second to like even the stuff you were saying about the engineering stuff. You know, like is it at this point in time with your artistry, is it important for you to record yourself? And if so, why?
I would say yes. Even if I was to take this and bring it to another spot, definitely yes. Because you go to the studio, you paying for time, so you limited to what you do. If you're not really sharp on your shit, like when back in my early days, I used to practice everything before I went to the studio. I work a fucking 8-hour job. I got a baby. The wife fucking bugs my nerves. Life, I ain't got time to study these motherfucking rhymes all day. So the last thing you want to do is go in the studio and you be sitting there 2 out of the 4 hours that you booked trying to get your record together. You know, you got your home set up. You can record at your own pace, at your own speed, and at your own comfortability. You know what I'm saying? It could be a night where it's 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody sleep. If I want to get loud though, because I know everybody heavy sleeping, I can be loud as fucking here. As in the studio, I could be loud in there, but then, you know, maybe you gotta do this, I wouldn't hear that shit.
Yo, we was talking about that on this podcast probably a couple of months ago, and I was saying, like, I remember back in the days when dudes went to the studio, brothers had to chip in, everybody had to throw in a couple of dollars for whatever amount of hours, and you had to practice and get your routine, whatever it was. Because when you went in, you had to come with it. It was like, nah, we on the clock.
Especially if you coming in with 3-4 other niggas and everybody, you gotta go off. Because everybody else walking in there prepared, nigga, you better be prepared.
Yo, but you know what's bug about that? Why is it that, especially in the era when they was having, like, everybody was getting these major label, you know, these contracts with major labels, dudes went from that, like, yo, I need to be writing at home, sharpening my skills, to, yo, I'm gonna go sit in the studio. And I get the whole run around, yo, survive or whatever it is. But, yo, I couldn't see myself on the billable hours sitting there like, yo, I'm gonna sit there for 14 hours and write a record that may not necessarily even make the album, but be trash. And it's thousands of dollars.
But that's really the boil down to it. At that moment in time, think about it. If a label pressuring you to have something within a certain amount of time, you know, there really ain't no time to go home and go try to write this shit while you got the wife and the kids, or, you know, you got other shit in the play going on at home. So I'm just gonna sit here and create whatever I can in this short amount of time, or whatever this length of time I got, because there's no distraction. You know what I'm saying? That's the downside though, to having your own home setup, because then you got all the distractions. But when you get time, you work on it and you could craft it to how you want to.
It's crazy because you ever hear artists be like, yo, I made this album in 2 weeks, and be like, yeah, I know you did.
I know. I heard it.
I be like, yo, it be artists be like, yeah, it's this. Like, I'm talking about, like, big name artists. They be like, yeah, I recorded this whole project in 2 weeks. I'm like, we know.
Between your subject matter and your mixing and your beat choice, we can tell you.
Volume. They pumping out volume or something, and not what's in quantity over quality.
A volume of garbage.
And what's the hardest place you rock, bro?
The hardest place I rock?
Yeah.
Honestly.
The
best joint I remember, Lake Tahoe, California.
Oh wow, nice.
Why was that? What was about that spot?
That was definitely my first time being in California. I got an invitation to Block McCloud from Brooklyn Academy. Fuck with him and Capadonna doing some shows out in California.
Nice.
Dope,
so that moment in time to me was dope. We was just out there, and that one show in Lake Tahoe, it was just boom, jam-packed, crowded type shit. And that was like my first real time being, like, not being out in the world doing shows, but in a whole nother state, millions and millions. Well, I wouldn't say millions of miles, but a nice distance of miles.
Yeah, that's 3,300 miles, bro.
Word. In the mountains where majority of the crowd is predominantly vanilla flavor, and they just rocking shit. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
That shit was like, yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part? Do you like to write, you like to record, or you like to perform? Which one? Put them in order.
I like to write, I like to perform, then I like to record.
Oh, okay.
I can perform. Sometimes I'll fuck up the performance, but it's just the energy. As long as the energy is there, I ain't gonna stop. Writing, that shit just comes natural, especially if you're in the mood. But recording always becomes the bitch because you could record some shit one day and that shit would be like, yo, that shit is fire. At that moment in time you listen to it, you'll come back a couple of days later to try to resonate with it, revisit that shit. You'd be like, what the fuck kind of is this on?
Yeah.
Maybe it just wasn't the day, or something else was all over the place, or maybe the beat just didn't fit right.
Yeah.
Recording is a whole process, especially when you're doing the mixing and mastering. Now you gotta level out shit, and taking out breaks, and putting drums in and all this other shit. Once you got all your stems and all that shit, so that shit is the more tedious part of it all.
Rob shaking his head because we've been through that.
Yeah.
But Lord, I'm learning on the go. I'm an old head, but I'm learning to go. But that word stems,
Yo,
chase him down.
Yo, that's why. Yo, no, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you speak. I want to hear. I want to hear from the professionals, bro.
That's why, not for nothing. This is why. If you pay attention to my catalog the past couple of years, I've just been working with Knight because Knight is so understanding when it comes to the word stems. I be like, yo, Knight, I need the stems. Nigga, I got you. Everything. You ask somebody else for the stems. Well, you gotta. Well, now you gotta talk about paperwork, payment. Even if you got paid for it. Now, why we gotta do all that if I already paid you for that? So now you rip me out of the stem because some other dirtbag gonna pay you more, or you just trying to pull a film flame and get $1 in your pocket.
Yeah. So have you ever been in a position where you had the 2-track record?
Hell yeah. I ain't no stranger to that shit. No stranger to that. You gotta do what you gotta do. Shit. My earlier years, I was the pirate guy. I take your shit off that pip. If it was available for free $99, or you had it in some type of cheaper fashion, and I felt your beat. Nigga, I'm snatching your shit. I give you credit for it, but I'm definitely snatching
using that. Right.
I'm using that.
Yeah. Yeah. And your music, a lot comes through by way of like energy. There's a lot of emoting. So I wonder, like when you look at it, you talk about physical growth, intellectual growth, emotional growth can all be quantified. How do you know when you've spiritually grown?
When your vision change, and not just what you see with your eyes, also what you see in your head. I mean, you could have a mindset one day of, yo, perfect example. Somebody could drive by a house and be like, yo, one day I'm gonna have that house. Cool. You see it in the perception of your eye, but to really think and manifest that shit and put it in motion, that's a whole different ballgame.
Talk that talk.
So you really want it, you gotta put that shit in motion. And it ain't just I'm gonna talk it into existence. Cause look, you could talk a million words a second, but if you ain't putting action behind that shit, you just basically talking out your ass. So it's more so manifestation in the physical form and in the mental form.
They go hand in hand.
That's
cause and effect.
Why do you think though? Why do you think that people don't place, or I mean, it just may be my perception of it. I feel like people don't place as much value in spiritual growth as they do in intellectual growth, emotional growth, and physical growth. And I don't know. Again, it could be just because it's easier to quantify growth in those areas.
Nah, it's just like we was talking about earlier. It's a microwave mindset. Everybody's microwave mindset. So it's not, I'm going to sit here and build myself to get to where I want to be. I'm going to wait for the next person to give me what I'm going to get. Or I'm going to let this opportunity of me being an asshole first before I really put my true self into perspective to make it work for me. A lot of people just want validation. They don't want validation within themselves. They want validation, period. And that's where you really got to separate the degree of, are you human being or are you just human? Because being human is just you existing.
Right.
Being means you got emotions, you got understanding, you got a sense of what's going on around you. Human is just existing.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't have that level of introspection though. And I honestly feel like a lot of people don't seek it either.
Why?
Right, because a lot of people don't have it.
Exactly. My brother just hit on the head. Why am I going to seek it if I don't understand it?
Yeah, like
people want the choice. They don't want the opportunity. They want to have the ability to say that they could have, not actually do anything.
Right. If you got a trying mindset, then you'll always be a nigga that's gonna try. I always tell people it ain't a situation of trying. If you actually doing it, then you're doing it.
You're doing it.
Trying
Yeah.
is the mindset. I'm gonna try to do that. In your mind, I'm gonna get to that. But if you really got it in, you're gonna do that shit and you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. You know, we were having a discussion a couple of weeks ago with an artist, Tay Baby. Shout out Sally Bay. And I was talking to her about you know, she was talking about the topic of like success came up, you know, and I was saying to her that success is relative. You know, I think we get roped into what society says to us what actually means successful, like, you know, and it varies based on person to person. Like, you know, what you view as a success, somebody else may look at like that's successful to you.
Right.
Or, you know, and I think that sometimes we get lost in our accomplishments and don't give ourselves enough credit for accomplishments because we have this grandiose idea about what success is. So for me, like, even listening to you, like, yo, I record and mix my own shit or whatever. Bro, that's successful because there's somebody right now that's like, yo, damn, if I could just get my record recorded or mixed, you know, but we don't think at that level. We just think so grand about all the other intangibles and things that's supposed to happen that we don't celebrate ourselves enough when we do accomplish a milestone. And I'm not saying in a sense of the smallest thing you need to be cheering or you set the bar so low that you feel accomplished, you know, you creep over. You know, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that we do need to be able to give ourselves some level of grace and celebration around like things that we do attain. Like, yo, it's dudes right now that their whole life, you know, they like, yo, damn, you know, I want a car. They get a car, they get 4 wheels, they happy. It's other dudes that's not content or happy unless it's a foreign. You know, it's everything is about, like, to me, like just about perception and how you define success.
Sure.
And if you let somebody else's ideology around what constitutes success define you, then how are you ever going to be successful? You're always going to be chasing the illusion of what somebody else told you is successful.
True, but then also, you know, to kind of play devil's advocate on it, sometimes you don't want to celebrate your success because not everybody's happy for you to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Every motherfucker in your circle is not going to be excited that you got a new car. That cousin, that family member, that aunt, whoever, they're not gonna be happy that you got a nice job and, you know, you got providing. You know, you can celebrate that shit within you, and, you know,
that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
But some shit is just how old head used to tell me.
And when I say celebratory, I don't mean lavish and outlandish shit or whatever.
I get what you're saying. It's just, you know, like you said, even the smallest achievement is a success. You know, it's not that people don't see it. It's just the fact of, in this day and age, how do you celebrate something when, you know, even if you on a positive note, you don't let nobody else's judgment get in. Right. It's such an open range world where, yo, I did this. Oh, fuck that nigga. He think he hot because he
right.
Yeah,
because you smiled, just because you smile at a nigga. Fuck that nigga, man. He think like smiling.
Yeah.
I mean,
happy and smiling, like, what the fuck?
Being happy's not cool. That's
yo, and that's so weird, son.
Yeah,
that's
being happy is not cool.
Iron Horse said propaganda versus perception.
For real. You know what I'm saying? I can feed you bullshit better than I can make you see the real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like that we, you know, it's just like it's. I mean, I think about like projects people put out to bring it back to music back in the days. Like, to me, I listened to like Mike Geronimo's first album, The Natural. To me, is like a cult classic. Like, I really love that album. That album ain't sell 1 million copies. Somebody somewhere is probably like, yo, that album's a failure because we've created this perception that back then, to be a successful album, you had to sell 1 million copies.
Yeah, you had to be that guy. A lot of people ain't gonna respect Mike Geronimo because the first thing they're gonna be like, well, who the fuck is he? What he do?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a real hip hop head and you understand the game, you know, Mike Geronimo, he's a fixture of this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's just people feeding into their own ignorance.
Yo, you don't understand. Think about it. We had people going crazy a while years ago because on top of the fact that we don't believe it. Remember, everybody, if you ain't had them 5 mics, them 4 mics, 3 mics, 2 mics, you was ready for killer editor for them 2 mics. You get a killer editor for that.
Yo, pardon, not to cut you off, but not for nothing. I just watched Math Hoffa do an interview with Benzino, and he was talking about that shit. And yo, that was such a rigged goddamn situation, especially with the fighters left, and he brought the new niggas in. Oh my god, yo, that's some terrible shit. Because there's a lot of albums that was probably fired that we never knew because the mic was so politics.
Yo,
shit, son.
One of my favorite albums all time probably went Wood, Into the Stage by Black Moon.
Yeah.
I still to this day listen to that album. I love that album. And I'm certain that to me, I'm like, yo, that album is dope. But because they ain't go platinum and they ain't get 5 mics, somebody calling it trash.
Yeah.
Look, people on Twitter say Method Man's first album is trash. That shit was fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Twitter is a whole different demon, man.
I don't even get into that.
Everybody on Twitter is just going route. Nah, fuck that.
All the shit X now. It ain't even Twitter.
Let me tell you,
Yo,
how many people realize think about how many singles were on Takao. A lot of people don't realize how many singles he had on that Takao album.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody like, nah, that shit was trash. What?
It's chasing is chasing the chart a thing of the past?
Yeah, that's a
I think so.
that's definitely a thing in the past. I mean,
let's just throw it out there. Let's just throw it out there because what was it? Ebro mentioned it in the last 30 years. This is the first time that no hip hop, no R&B has made a #1 single. And that's because of the trendy shit that's happening around. Everyone's following and copying. No one's sitting down authentically creating anything. No one's contributing anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No one's adding on to that. So this is what we have.
Whole bunch of bullshit.
It's gonna be hard to get that back because as long as you got a bunch of people making a shitload of money for doing BS, it's gonna be hard to get them to change.
There's been if you think about it though, like there's been a resurgence though. Like you see, like even the concert the other day at Yankee Stadium, you're starting to see like the artists that they've had sustainable careers. Like, so no disrespect to Nelly, but Nelly is a dude who sold a lot of records. I don't think Nelly has the fanfare that a dude like a Method Man or Ghostface could still go around. And like I went to one of my friends. He lives up by the casino, so he got comp tickets. He was like, yo, you want to go to a concert? I was like, all right, cool. Went to the concert. It was Nelly. Look around the crowd, it ain't look like us or whatever. And the crowd was a
lot of vanilla ice cream.
It was a decent amount of people. There's a decent amount of people there. But I say all that to say, like, I think years down the road, like when you have those type of artists, I don't know if they have the sustainability as the artists who have like the core group of fan following, like a dude like a Method Man. Method Man could tour that album or tour with those records for the rest of his life. He may not sell out arenas with it, but he can consistently work with that if that's what he chose to do.
But then you gotta look at the caliber of the music too, man. You talking about the nigga who spelled his name on the record. Now I mean, you talking about him compared to the nigga who he made Down Down Baby. Of course, you gotta know everything.
His Air Force Ones,
Yo, it didn't age well.
Not age well. Nobody sitting out here talk about my Air Force Ones. Oh, man.
Yo, Jim,
I can't bring the pain.
Right.
It's only a quality of music, man. And he wasn't making quality shit. He just did what the machine wanted him to make.
Yeah, Cardan wrote a lot. We had Cardan on the podcast. Cardan wrote a lot of Nelly stuff also.
Oh, shit. And I never even knew that.
Yeah. Cardan wrote a lot of Nelly stuff. So, I mean, it's what it is. My last question, I don't know if these brothers got other questions for you, is how has music hindered or helped your mental health?
I've done a little bit of both. The hindrance part is, unfortunately, this shit is like a drug addiction. Once you get caught up with something and you like something so much, you tend to indulge in that shit. And there's days where, I love music so much. It's just even beyond writing and rapping. I get soaked into shit where I get in the trance. I'll forget about my own shit. And I'll be stuck in a 30-day binge of getting into everybody else's shit. Not knowing that, some of this shit ain't really good for your health because it's too much music. You know, you still got to keep your own mind and your own frame.
Right.
But I would say it has helped because it made me see different shit. You know what I'm saying? I come from the projects. I mean, I hadn't lived poor, but you know, we managed. My mother and my father may do what they do. You know, my father was down alcoholic, so you know, I did what I had to deal with in my little neighborhood and shit. You know, for me to come out of that through progression of words, and then you know, just look at the stepping stones from you know, well, I'm gonna make a tape. I went from making the tape. I'm gonna make a tape. I'm gonna do some shows. I went from making tapes to doing shows. You tell me 2002 that I would be having vinyls and cassettes and shit like that. I would fucking believe you. I would say, yo, stop fluffing me, man. No, yo, you joking with me. To actually sit here now, I got CDs, vinyls. I've been on so much different shit. I've been blessed to be featured with dope, amazing brothers and talented individuals. And there's still more that's still in the cut that has yet to be seen.
Dope.
That shit is dope to me, man.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of this music shit. I only learned rap through fucking being on punishment.
Listen, bro. We've all had them days. I used to purposely put a damn concert in my courtyard where I used to live. I used to put my speaker right out the window and make sure I blast the entire courtyard, bro. And they knew, they were like, they go Rob playing his music again, and I'm blasting Karis One, G Rap, Slick Rick. I'm playing everything, bro. I'm like, listen, man, y'all gonna live this life with me. Fuck it.
For real, though. I've had neighbors knock on my door to like, your son was listening to some music earlier, very loud. Like,
let me ask you, man, what's your contributions to keeping hip hop as authentic as possible?
Well, number one, remaining true to my sound. That's really the key to that shit. If you don't stay true to your sound and what you create, ain't no motherfucker gonna give a fuck about what you do after that once you stray from it. Right. And I feel like as far as how I look at it, I don't ever look at it as a contribution to hip hop, but more so a personal contribution to myself and my life. I always think of this shit as I know I might not ever get a chance to be on the level of major leagues, and I accept that. You know what I'm saying? But for the fact that in another 10, 15 years, I put it like that, I can sit down with my son and maybe he might want to pursue rap. Yo, this is it. I mean, this is what I was doing. Or maybe he might want to pursue something else. Either way, this shit is the blueprint. All right, so this is what I did. This may not be what you want to do, but this is how I started. This is how I kept going. I didn't want to stop. You know what I'm saying? For them to get that education, that shit to me means worth anything in this shit.
Yo, and you just summarized what I was saying earlier about like the element of like perception around success. You're like, yo, I may not ever be on the level of whoever it is, but you know, look at what I've done. Look at what I've actualized. Like, yo, I got vinyls, I got tape, I got this and that. And that's the piece that I get lost on, brothers, to me, man.
Word. Some people just be like, nah. Some motherfuckers need more, and some motherfuckers feel like they ain't doing enough. Me, I'm like, yo, I'm just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Just to be doing. That's it.
Yo, it's a pleasure to be here because motherfuckers could told me, nah, you can't do this shit. You trash. I mean, I've heard people tell me I'm trash, and I still kept fucking going. You know.
I got one last question for you, man. So what's next, man?
Well, me and my brother Jamel Honesty, if y'all familiar with him, we got another project. We did a project called Harbor Kids last year.
Okay.
Did pretty good, made a nice little bit of noise. So we working on the part 2 of that, live from the Jerry Lewis Theater.
Okay.
And solo effort rise. I mean, I got one in the can. I'm still kind of put together, can figure out, and then people trying to holler at me and get me to work with shit. Right now, I just want to really make sure I focus on getting the word out for tanface and just keeping all the other shit alive as well, because before tanface, I dropped a project called After These Messages, too.
After These Messages, yeah.
So...
And you usually like a lot of cartoon and video game shit in that.
Oh man, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, man. I'm so fucking nostalgic. Look, I'm drinking Hen Rock out the Ninja Turtle. I'm so fucking nostalgia, bro.
I love that. I love that, God.
So I just stay like that.
Word. Jim said, I'm proud of our work on the No Ideas original project. Thank you guys. Yeah, Jim's actually Yada right there. They 2/3 of the Outsiders music group. They did like 10 was it 10 or 11 records off our off
10,
our project.
10 joints off the
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
we got stems too.
We got stems.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. We got stems.
You know what? Nah,
like
yo.
the orchestra now.
Yo, put LT on the fucking. Tell LT we need stems. Get that t-shirt ready.
Yo, Squeegie, you want to say anything else before we end?
Yo, first off, thank you to y'all brothers for letting me get on the platform, you know, and express and be myself.
Yes, sir.
Yo, thank you for everybody who's been fucking with me, who's getting into my shit now. I hope you enjoy the ride. Anybody who has been riding with me through this ride, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. And yo, you can't fuck with the ultimate, and that's how I'm gonna keep coming.
Peace to the God.
Yo, peace. Salute everybody. Thank you for tuning into the No Ideas original podcast. Squeegee, chill. Don't bounce yet, yo. We're gonna kick